to CFB Shiloh YouTube channel. My name is Yuko. I am a fitness and sports instructor here at Shiloh. Today's workout is total body circuit. It will take from the warm-up to cool down, it take about 45 minutes. The equipment that you need is a kettlebell, I will recommend to have two different kind of kettlebell. One is lighter, one is a little bit heavier. If you don't have a kettlebell, use a dumbbell, so one heavier, one lighter will be ideal. If you don't have any weights, you can do bodyweight as well. And then you need a timer and you need some space to do the exercise. Before we get going with the warm-up, I will review some kettlebell techniques. And if you don't need a review, then just straight go into the main workouts. All the written workout plan is in the description below. So let's get started the review. So first one, the main kettlebell technique will be the Turkish Get Up and kettlebell swing, and a little bit of talk about the grip, handle grip, and also how to do the clean, kettlebell clean nicely without hurting your wrist too much. So first one is Turkish Get Up. What is Turkish Get Up? Let's start from the bottom position, you coming up to the standing position, and you reverse the movement pattern. So you will start with the laying down position. If you can use a kettlebell to start with or without it. I will recommend to start without it since we haven't done warm up. So one leg bend, same side of the head, arm up straight. From here, shoulder down, nice and tight core. Hands down to the ground, about your shoulder side or a little 45-degree angle. From here, use your free hand to lift your upper body up. Do you see the position? From here, lift your hips up and swing your leg back. So lay your hands right next to your shoulder, and then your knees are a little bit behind or close to your head, and then come to the half kneeling position. From here, you will standing up, and then you will reverse. Going down, so kneeling down, hands right next to you, or about aligned with your knee. Hands down, so you're going angle. When you go angle, make sure hands are not going away from your body. Keep it aligned with your shoulder. From here, you will swing your leg forward and hip going down to your seating position. From here, you're using your core. Keep it balanced. Make sure your hands are not coming forward. Keep it center of your body. And then elbow back to the shoulder. And that's the Turkish Get Up. So nice and smooth. Up, and then standing up. And then going down, hands down. You can look the hands down or mainly keep your eyes on your weight. But if you need to look down, see where your hands are landing. And then swing down and then come back down. And you will switch to the other side as well. So that's the first move. Second one, kettlebell swing. Swing, key part is the hip hinge. It's not so much an arm swing that I'm looking for, it's more hip hinge that I'm looking for. So you will start with the hinging position. Your hands are close to your groins, like it's really high up. Make sure it's not your knee, it's really high up. So going back, make sure back is nice and straight. Make sure not rounding your back, keep it straight. Swing it back and extend forward with your head. Your hands are relaxed so that when you're at the top, if you need to switch your hand, you can switch your hand. So make sure you don't grip too hard. Shoulder down, shoulder back, and swing and come back. Swing and come back. So it's a hip hinge. So from here, swing back and extend, swing back and extend. Your legs are relatively straight, so you're not squatting down. Your knees are slight bend. From here, momentum from your hip to swing back and forward. That's this kettlebell swing. Bottom up grip. So when you're holding the kettlebell bottom up, make sure your wrist, hopefully you can see, your wrist is not bending. Keep your wrist straight line. And then keep your wrist not bending forward or backwards. Keep it straight line. And in and out, and then forward and back as well. So that's the kettlebell grip when you do bottom up. Ideally, keep your elbow relatively forward when you do carry or overhead press. That's the ideal. And last one is clean. So kettlebell clean. So this move. when you swinging your kettlebell back up to behind your arm, think like you're doing the bicep curl. So from here, bicep curl, come in here and come back down. Go up and down. So your kettlebell, when you come up, kettlebell will rest to your arm, like your wrist, and come back down. If it is too painful to rest it on your wrist, grab the corner of the handle so the kettlebell is coming slightly outside of your wrist. So that's the main movement pattern. From here, swing a little bit, add the swing, and then come to the bicep curl position. That's the clean that I'm looking for. Okay, review's done, so let's move on to the warm-up. So let's start with the walking high knees for the warm-up. So nice and high, lift your knees up and walk. Now switch to the butt kick, so kick back, the butt kick. If you need to, use your hands to assist a little bit knee flexion. And switch to the toe touches. So a little bit of hamstring stretch, reach your toes. Good. Now move on to the shoulder, upper body. So still with the shoulder circle. Pick the direction. And going to the other way. Now switch to up and down, reaching up, and go down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Switch to front and out. So close and open, close, open. And this time switching into the push-up, pushing forward and back, forward, back, forward, back. And reach to the up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Good. Now switching into the with the weight. If you have a kettlebell, use a kettlebell. If you have a dumbbell, you can use dumbbell. If you don't have any weights, do it without it. Hold the towel like close to about 2-3 fist distance, like so. From here, you will move the weight around your head, close to your head, and then come back. So going 3 in each direction. So keep it close to your head. Make sure you don't go away from your body. Keep it close to your head. Nice and tight circle. Move from your elbow and shoulder. And once 3 is done, switch to the other direction, around your head, come back, around your head. So keep it close to your head as much as you can. Good. And going to dynamic lower body warm up, doing the sit to squat. So reach down to your toe and squat down as low as you can. Come back to the straight leg and come back to stand. Reach down to your toe, squat down. Keep your heels down to the ground, come back, and come back. 3 more. Reach down, squat, and back, up. If you want, you can stay a little bit longer at the bottom, if that feels good for you. 1 more. Good. And hip hinge. Again, we have kettlebell swing for the hip hinge. So it's important to work on your little bit hip hinge techniques. So movement pattern wise, hands at your hip or at your chest, that's your call. Feet about your shoulder width or hip width. From here you're hinging from your hip. Keep your back straight. And come back up. Like so. If you don't know what's back straight, grab the stick, your head, your shoulder blades, and roll back. We'll keep in contact with the stick and hinging from hip without losing the 3-point contact. And come back. If hip hinge without weight feels comfortable for you. Then hold the weight close to your chest and do the hip hinge. So a little bit of good morning. So nice and tight core. Make sure push your hips back and come back. Do 5 of those. So nice and tight core. Hinge from hip. Back straight, nice and long spine. Make sure don't look up or look down too far. Keep it nice and long spine. Good. Alright. So a few activation exercises. So coming down to the floor to do the bridge and a single leg bridge hold. So 2-leg bridge. So both legs are on the ground, heels down to the ground. From here, lift your hips up. Hold your bridge. So squeeze your glutes. Make sure not arching too much from your low back. Nice and tight core. Tuck your core in. Squeeze your glutes. Hold it there. Once 10 seconds is done, you move on to single leg. So lift one leg up. So close, a little bit easier. Extend, a little bit harder. Balancing leg. Make sure your hip is not going down. Keep your hips up. Toes and knees the same direction. And 10 seconds hold. And switch to the other leg. Squeeze your glutes and keep your hips up. Or straight or bend. That's your call. Make sure hip is not dropping. Keep your both at the same height. Squeeze your glutes. Extend. Once the 10 seconds hold is done. And move on to the core activation exercise. Plank chest down. So you're doing a plank. Like so, from here, nice and tight core. If you need to, you can do it from your knee. And from there, you lift your hands up, touch your shoulder, left and right. So make sure you don't shift too much your hip. Keep it stable. Hands right below your shoulder, nice and tight core, shoulder down. Engage your quads and glutes. Tap your shoulder, tap your shoulder. So 10 shoulder taps. Once 10 is done, we have one more kettlebell warm-up routine. So let's do kettlebell bottom up, 90 carry, which means grab the lighter kettlebell, keep your wrist straight line, and then your shoulder is 90, your elbow is 90. From here, make sure your wrist does not break, keep your wrist straight. And shoulder down, both sides, same height, 90-90. From here, you walk about 10-20 meters. I don't have that much space. Just go back and forth. Nice and tight core. Make sure elbows not breaking down. Keep your wrist straight. And then switch to the other hand. So keep it 90-90. Shoulder down, elbow in. Nice and straight grip. So about 10-20 meter walk. Keep your shoulder engaged, shoulder down, nice and tight core. One more. And that's okay. There you go. That's the warm-up routine is done. Grab some water before we get going for the main part. I'll explain the main body parts next. So the main workout, there's a 4 exercises in block 1. So first block is 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, and 3 rounds of those. You have 4 exercises through upper body, lower body, and then whole body and core exercise. So first 4 exercises are Turkish Get Up, single leg deadlift, single arm swim to clean and press, and then kettlebell swim. So Turkish Get Up, as we review in the review section, you will start with same side of the leg, legs and arms same side. From here, you push yourself up to the upright, push your hips up, swing your leg back to your half kneeling position, and then you're starting up, going back down, hands down, swing your leg out, hips down, and come back, come back. So since it's a 45 seconds, so do one side, do make sure you switch your left and right as you go. And second one is single leg deadlift. You can use 2 leg, or you can use 1 leg, that's your call. You can use heavy one, you can use lighter one. If you're using lighter one, you can do, I will suggest you to do 1 hand, opposite side of the leg, or same side of the leg. You're nice and tall, nice and upright. Your toes and knees are facing the same direction. Hips are square. From here, 1 hand, hinging forward, and come back. Hinging forward, and come back. Or you can do 2 hand, hinging forward, and come back. Hinging forward, and come back. Again, it's a 45 seconds, so do 3, and then switch to the other side. 3, or do 5, and 5, depending on how fast you can go. So that's a single leg deadlift, do one side, do the other side. If you do single arm, then you make sure you switch your hands as well as do the other side of the single leg deadlift. Single arm swing to the clean press, that's the third exercise. So single arm swing is swing with a single arm. And then from one swing, you come to the clean and overhead press. And then you can switch your hand at the swing, or you can switch at the bottom, that's your call. So, you will start with the swing. So 1 swing, curl, and a bicep, similar to the bicep curl. Clean, so your hand weights are coming outside of your hand. From here, nice and tight core, wrist straight, press up, come back. You can swing, and switch your hand, and swing, curl, and then curl, clean, and then overhead press, and come back. Or you can do one side, do press, come back, and switch to the hand, and then go and swing, and curl, and press. That's your call too. So do one side, do the other side, continue switching left and right for 45 seconds. And last one is a kettlebell swing. So this one's 2-handed kettlebell swing. I will suggest you to use a little bit heavier one. You can use a lighter one to start with. That's your comfort level. If you're not sure, then I suggest you to start with a lighter weight. So, swing, 2 arms, 2 hands, hands close to your groin, so make sure it's not at your knee, it's a close up. So you're keeping your back straight, hinge from hip. Imagine you're pushing back and then pull forward. But you're using from your hip. That's the key part. So start from ready position, nice and tight core, swing back, and then forward. Forward, and forward. So your knee is not squatting down too much. What I'm looking for is slight knee bend, and more so hip hinge. That's what I'm looking for. So start with a small move. As you get comfortable, you can get a little bit more, bigger movement with your trunk momentum. So, 45 seconds of swing. So that's the block 1. So set your timers, get ready, and 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds to transition to the next exercise. Do Turkish Get Up, single leg deadlift, single arm swing, do the clean and press, and kettlebell swing. That's the 1 set. You will do 2 more sets in total. Alright, so second part is the same work and rest ratio and then sets. So 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, 3 sets. But this time, 4 exercises are goblet squat, half kneeling, bottom up, shoulder press, 3-point row, and a plank pass under. So those are the 4 exercises. So first one, goblet squat. Lighter one, heavier one, that's your choice. Bottom down or bottom up, that's your choice too. As long as you're nice and close to your body. And then the goblet squat. Squat, the toes and knees are forward, nice and upright. Squat down, and come back. As low as you can, and come back. Like so. Goblet squat for 45 seconds. Second one is half kneeling, bottom up, shoulder press. So half kneeling, 1 leg forward, 1 leg back. I think it's easier to do the back side of the leg, same side. From here, bottom up, so your wrist is not bending, keep your wrist straight line, shoulder down, nice and tight core. Shoulder hips square, make sure you're not dipping to one side. From here, you will elbow forward, press overhead, and come back nice and control. Press overhead, and come back. So do 2 or 3 in a one side to the other side, and then do 2 or 3 repetitions. So depending on how fast you move in, if you're really good at controlling it, maybe you can do 5 and 5, and then you can rotate through for 45 seconds. It's your call. So 2 or 3 repetitions and switch to the other side. If you're using dumbbell, it's probably the balance part is not the issue. It's more shoulder down, nice and tight core. Make sure you're not hinging sideways to go overhead press. Make sure shoulders and hips are square, nice and tight core. From here, you're pressing upwards and come back without adding a little bit of side rotation to help you press upwards. Third exercise, 3-point row. If you have your mat or like exercise mat underneath your knee, it will be a little bit helpful too. So 3-point row. If you have a 2 weight, I would suggest use the other one for a little bit of balance. So it's like you setting up as the bed core position, kind of similar to. So from here, nice and tight core, hips back. You're doing the single arm row basically, but you're balancing. You're a little bit more crouched down position, so it's a little bit more work for your leg and a little bit more work for your core. From here, you're doing the row with one arm. So do 3 to 5 in one side, switch to the other side. 3 to 5 repetitions. So key part is make sure you're not rotating too much from your trunk when you do row, and keep your legs engaged as you row. Other thing is make sure you're not shrugging the shoulder as you're rowing. Keep your shoulder down, nice and engaged core. Squeeze your shoulder blades, lift it up, and come back. If it is the same height, it's a little bit hard to do. Then I would suggest you to use a wall or bench so you can give a little bit more height. Imagine getting a bench. From here, you can do the row like so. It'll make it a little bit easier for your back or core if you have any issues. And last one is a plank pass under. You will start with the plank position, nice and tight core. You're reaching down to the width, move outside of your hand, and switch to the other side. So when you're reaching, make sure you're not shifting your hips too far to shift the weight. Your whole body is keep it as a plank, nice plank position, nice and tight core, reach, and come back. Same thing for your shoulder as well. Make sure you're not dropping your shoulder to help you reach left and right. Shoulder down, nice and tight core, move left and right. So those are the 4 exercises, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, and 3 rounds of those. And so get ready your timers, grab some water, get your weight. If you need a mat, grab your mat, and let's get working. Nice work. Well done. That's all for today's workouts, and then let's do the cool downs, and then we're all done for the day. So start with the shoulder stretches. So hands cross out your chest, and then stretch your shoulder. So hold your stretch about 20 to 30 seconds. I might go a little bit faster than that, but in order to get the benefit out of stretching, hold your stretch for 20 to 30 seconds. And switch to the other side. During the exercise, if you have any issues, I'll suggest you to modify the exercise or leave in the comments saying, how do I modify this exercise? Or if I have a difficulty with this exercise, and please leave it in the comments. I'm going to come back and answer as much as I can. And in terms of the stretch, your hands up, push your elbow back. And switch to the other side. And also throughout the channel, we have different variations of exercises that we post every day. 2 videos per day for the fitness portion. Sometimes it's a mobility in yoga, so a little bit more low intensity, sometimes more high intensity exercise, upper body, lower body, core work, whole body, and some of the exercises more focusing on toward the force test. So check the channel and then click the different videos and see what you like. If you have a challenge, and try to give yourself a little bit of a challenge and try the exercise as well. Chest stretch, so you're reaching lean back, straight chest. Option 1. Option 2, hands together. Option 3, lift it up and push back a little bit to give a little bit more chest stretch. And once the chest stretch is done, quad stretch. For front side of the leg, you can do standing quad stretch, like so. Make sure your knees are not far away, keep your knee closer, and also knees are not go forward. Bring your knee back to your shoulder, hip, and knees in one line, or a little bit knee back, so a little bit extra hip extension stretch. If you're having difficulty standing and stretching, switch to the other side. You can do the same thing on the floor, so like sideways. So knee close to the ground, or the other side of the knee. My knee is not a straight line. So your shoulder, hip, and knee as one line, and then stretch the front side of your leg. Same thing, hold the stretch for 20 to 30 seconds in order to have stretching benefit. Good. Now move on to adductor stretch. Since we did a kettlebell swing, your adductor might be a little bit sore. If you're on the ground, one leg to the side, lean forward, and then stretching your adductor a little bit. If you're standing, your side lunges basically will stretch your adductor like so. Tilt, sideways, forward, move around and see which one will stretch more for your adductor. And switch to the other side. If you're thinking about buying kettlebell, I'll suggest you to buy 2 different weights, such as like a little bit lighter weight you can do bottom up, and a little bit heavier weight you can do like a squat and give you enough intensity, or when you use suitcase carry that it's heavy enough for you. So if you're considering buying something for your home gym, suggest to buy a kettlebell, 2 different weights of kettlebell, 1 set each. One kettlebell, 115 and 125, something like that. Glute stretch. Going down to the ground, one leg forward, one leg bent, grab your knee, and that's giving you enough stretch for your glutes. Hold it there. Option 1. Option 2, a little bit of rotation. A little bit glute stretch, a little bit lower back stretch as well. Grab your knee for the option 1, option 2, add a little bit of rotation. Good, slowly come back down and do the last one, hamstring stretch. So you're laying on the ground, grab behind your knee, and head back down to the ground, and stretch your hamstring. So back side of the leg. If laying down and doing hamstring stretch is not comfortable for you, you can do standing hamstring stretch as well. And switch to the other side. If you do standing one, keep it nice and upright, hinge from head, lean forward. Make sure your back is not round, your back straight. Otherwise, you're stretching your upper back, but you're not stretching your back and the hamstring, the straight leg side of the hamstring. And slowly come back out. There you go, that's the cool down, and that's the whole beginning to end of the total body circuit. Thank you for clicking on this video, and then check out the workouts. If you're not going through the video, you want to read through what I have for your workouts, then click in the description below to see layout of 45 seconds work and 50 seconds of rest of 3 sets, and each 4 exercises. If you have any question or comments, leave it leave it in the comments. I'll come back and make sure I'll answer as much questions as possible. Thanks again, and see you next time.